Hello again, welcome to Game Design 1. I'm Lab Specialist Richard Altrecci, and the man behind the camera is Lab Specialist Kyle Rasmussen. Today we're going to be talking about Sushi Go, a game where you're pitted against your friends, trying to accumulate points by gathering sushi. We're going to quickly talk about the setup, how to play the game, and the meaningful choices involved. Setting up the game is dependent on the amount of players. Each player will receive 12 cards minus the amount of players. So if there's 2 players, they receive 10. If there's 3, they receive 9. If there's 4 players, they receive 8. And if there's 5, then they receive 7. So for this example, we're going to do a 3-player game, and we've already shuffled and dealt out the decks. So there's 3 decks of 9 for 3 players. Now there's no need to figure out who goes first because all players will be deciding their cards at the same time. So we'll just go through player 1, and they'll go with the pudding. Okay, put that face down. Player 2, we'll go with dumpling. And player 3, we'll go with the maki roll. Now this is all done in secret. No one knows who's choosing what card. But once everybody has made a choice, they'll count down 3, 2, 1, go. And everyone will flip their card, and now their card is revealed. After that, they'll put it into a section, and then each deck is rotated to the left, to the person on their left. And so they'll do this until there's no more cards in the deck. They'll repeat this process, and that'll end round 1. They'll tally the points, and the player with the most points from that round will win that round, and then they'll do round 2 and round 3. And after the 3rd round, the points are tallied, and then the winner is finally decided. Now Sushi Go is very interesting in that it offers the player meaningful choice, not in the action itself, because the only action you can do in this game is draw a card, but they come from the cards themselves. So if we look at some of these cards, so take for instance this tempura card. If a player has 2 of these cards, they'll receive 5 points, but if they only have 1, they don't receive any. If you look at the dumplings, having 1 of this card will offer only 1 point. Having 2 will offer 3, 3 will offer 6, 4 will offer 10, and 5 will offer 15. So this is a strategy that the player will build these cards or gain these cards over time to receive 15 points. The maki roll cards work with the player having the most maki rolls, they'll receive 6 points, and the player with the least will only receive 3. Now if you look, there are 3 types of cards. This maki roll card has 3 maki rolls, this one has 2, and this one has 1. So if a player had these 3 cards in his hand, they will have a total of 6 maki roll cards. The sashimi card works just like the tempura cards. Having 3 will award the player 10 points. Again, having 2 or 1, the player will receive none. The nigiri cards, will offer the player 1 for an egg, 2 for salmon, and 3 for squid. Now the interesting thing about these cards is when you pair it up with a wasabi card, it now triples the points of that card, but only 1 card can be applied to the wasabi card. The pudding card works a lot like the maki roll cards, except the player with the least or none of the pudding cards will lose 6 points, with the most receiving 6 points. And the chopsticks card. The player can draw this on their turn. They can't use it, but on the next turn, they can use this card and draw 2 cards instead of 1. This card is then placed back in the deck, and the next player will be able to draw this card, and it goes on. So the great thing about these cards is it offers players different strategies. Maybe they want to disrupt their opponent's strategies because they're seeing their cards build up over time, and maybe they want to go ahead and take a maki roll, knowing that when they get the book, they won't have an opportunity to grab a maki roll or tempura, whatever the case is, but also different strategies on how they want to build their points and end up with the most points in the game. That's what the meaningful choices of Sushi Go are. Now remember, meaningful choices don't always have to be actions. They can be cards, instructions, or mechanics. You should try messing around with some of these concepts in your own game going forward as you're building them. That's all we have for Sushi Go. Thanks for watching.